Hello and welcome to episode number 4 of Tech Stuffing, where we talk about technology, video games, and other cool things that we find. I'm Jarrett, your host, and joining me today all the way from the West Coast is our... What's up, man?
Not much. How you doing today?
Same old. I've been watching a lot of Netflix lately. I just finished Lost in Space. Have you seen this show?
I have. I liked it. There's
Yes.
except there's the one character in there is a really not nice human being when it comes down to it.
Yeah, Dr.
Well,
Smith.
yeah, spoilers.
Well, the name of the character is not a spoiler.
Well, if you combine it with what I just say, then they just learned something that they didn't know beforehand because they hadn't watched the show.
I don't know. Anyway, it's a good show. I just finished it. Wasn't entirely on board until like episode 4 or 5, and then it started to get good. But I gave it a shot, so it's pretty good. I also started watching The Expanse. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that. No, what's that one about?
So it's based on the book called what's the name of the book? I can't remember the name of the book. I'm gonna have to look
The
it up.
Expanse?
No, it's not. It's called something different. But it's an amazing book. I read the book, and then they came in with the show. It's really good. It's on. It was on Sci-Fi. It got canceled, and then Amazon picked it up, so you can watch it on Amazon now. Amazon Prime. I recommend you watching this show. It's, I don't know.
I think I tried to watch an episode because it was recommended to me, and it just did not pull me in.
I don't know, man.
It's space.
Yeah, it's space and colonies. It's like a space opera kind of detective sci-fi show. It's real. It's good. It's like the best show on TV, man.
Yeah, apparently.
Good. But I'm rewatching first season because the third season just started. It's super good. I don't know. All right, man. I guess we'll get into the actual show.
We just.
All right.
Yes, let us begin.
All right, let's jump right into this. So, WPA2, the old Wi-Fi security procedure method, is finally getting an update. So we've been using this security protocol since, 2004. It's been quite a while. And they're finally coming out with WPA3. Yay. So what does this mean? Probably not much for the average user. But what it does bring is more security features, similar to hack your Wi-Fi. So it implements a couple of new features, essentially making it harder for hackers to crack your password by guessing it over and over again, as well as it also limits the data. It limits the data that hackers can see even once they've uncovered the passcode. So it's essentially more secure. It's probably it's probably going to be a long, slow route because just like any other technology, people have to adapt it. So first you'll see like probably firmware updates if your router will support it, and then you'll start seeing devices support it. So this is good news, I guess, as far as hackers go. I thought WPA2 was pretty secure, but this is supposed to be even better. So even it's also if they do crack your password with the offline data attack, so essentially what hackers can do is sniff all this information that's coming from your that you're transmitting over the airs, gather it up, and then take it back to their home, apartment, whatever, and then try to crack your password and get the data. But with WPA3, when they bring that data back, essentially even if they do find your password, it's very limited on what they can actually see, even if they do have their data, if it's old data. But that's pretty cool. So as soon as it rolls out, I'll probably be upgrading our router. Get new. Exactly. I guess I probably will have to get devices too. I'm not sure if it'll be like a firmware update on like your phone or if it requires more
security
hardware.
Updates are always a good thing.
But I guess we'll wait and see. Yeah, it's probably. I think it's supposed to roll out. Start to roll out now, but it'll be a while.
Yeah, it still looks like it's a little ways off.
Yeah, it's kind of expected to hit mass adoption in late 2019, so we're probably still about a year away before we actually see it implemented in devices. So but it's cool. I mean, score one for the good guys, I guess. Yeah. Speaking of things that are fast, I don't know how that implements into what we were just. Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Volkswagen's electric vehicle race car just broke some pretty awesome records doing the Pikes Peak hill climb. So, those who are unfamiliar with Pikes Peak, it's essentially a race that goes up a giant hill. So, it started in 1916. It's a 12.42 mile run that climbs 4,720 vertical feet. So, the challenge of this is that, one, with naturally aspirated cars or combustion engines, you're high altitude and you go higher. So of course, with less air, you have to try to cram that more air in the higher you go, and it's harder for engines to do. So it's been a pretty cool race, but you don't have those issues with electric vehicles. So Volkswagen's new race car just broke essentially every record that was ever made on the hill climb. So Volkswagen did it in 7 minutes and 57 seconds. Yeah, for 12 miles. That's pretty fast. So the previous electric vehicle record was 8 minutes and 57 seconds. So it beat it by a full minute, as well as it beat the overall record of 8 minutes and 13 seconds set in 2013. So it's pretty impressive. I mean, for an electric vehicle.
16 seconds off of the record is a lot in anything. That's a huge drop. And
yeah,
on top of it, the fact that he beat the old electric car by a full minute.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering, it's a 4,000 mile climb that ends up at the total elevation of this hill, as you so put it, is actually 14,000 feet. So I think it's more of a mountain than a hill.
Well, yeah. It's definitely a mountain. It's a 14er. Yeah, it's 4,000. Did you say 4,000 miles? It's not 4,000 miles.
No, you say it goes up 4,000 feet in the race.
Okay. Yeah. It climbs 4,000.
2 mile that climbs 4,720 feet.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool. I've always wanted to go to Pikes Peak and just watch the race because I think it's a pretty cool event just to see how fast you can get up a hill.
Well, I haven't seen the race. I have been up Pikes Peak.
Oh, you have? When did you go Pikes Peak?
Yes. When I moved out west. I stopped by, saw our buddy David in Denver, and then went up Pikes Peak the next day.
Really?
Drove, because you can drive the whole way up to the top. They do require you have there's a brake checkpoint where they require you they check your brakes, make sure they're functioning and everything before you go up because the descent is so steep that they also like you know how to put it in first and second gear. They even recommend you only going up with under half a gas tank to lower the weight. It was interesting. It is super like tight turns and like I think I read in the article they got up to 90 miles an hour and I'm like, man, most of the time you're going 15 or 20 going up this thing. I don't know what part of the entire thing that they race on, but it's a very, very windy, tight course. So that they can go that far and that quick. It's pretty incredible.
To go a little over 12 miles in under 8 minutes. That's pretty awesome, especially going uphill. Yeah.
I think they said they got over 90 miles an hour at one point. So I mean, and they're moving. I mean, that's flying. I'd be scared, man. That was one of the more scary drives I've done in a car, just because you go over a little to the left.
It's pretty much straight down.
There's nothing there.
Yeah. In California, there's a couple of probably all over the country, but in California, when I climbed Mount Whitney to drive up to the trailhead, it's the same. Like it's these really windy roads, and if you go off the side of the road, you go down a cliff. So it's pretty intense.
That one's neat. Yeah, you can actually drive all the way to the top of it, and they just have like a giant flat parking lot area.
You just chill up there and like have lunch or something?
Yeah, they got little picnic areas, and you can go. It's you can see all around you. It's in Colorado, right next to Denver, maybe half hour, 45 minutes from it.
Yeah. Are there any other tall mountains in the area, or does it feel like you are the tallest in the area?
Combination, because the way Colorado is, the eastern part of the state is pretty much like flat plain area, and to the west obviously is facing the Rockies. So one direction you look, you do have tons of other mountain ranges, while you look the other way and you can just see flat area, and you can see a couple towns in the distance.
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of like how Mount Whitney was when we climbed it. I mean, you get to the top and there's other mountains that are in the area, kind of like to your left and right and behind you, that are about the same height as you. So you don't really feel like you're that high. But then you look out, to the east, and you can see Death Valley. So it's like you're standing on the tallest point in the continental U.S., and then you could see the lowest point in the continental U.S. at the same time. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But then when I climbed Mount Shasta in Northern California, you felt like you were on top of the world. You felt like you were on Everest because there's no other mountain anywhere close to being that tall. Like you can't see anything else. So when you get to the top of it, it's just you just feel like you're on top of the world. It's super cool.
Yeah. No, it was neat just being on top of my mountain, the mountain.
Yeah,
Pikes Peak. That was the only. That's the highest I've gone, and that was a neat experience. I got really sunburned.
Oh yeah, I've had a bad experience with sunburn and climbing mountains before, like 2nd-degree sunburns, like on my face. So bring sunscreen, kids.
Mine was on my left arm, hanging out the window as I drove. Yeah,
you
had those nice bubbly blisters. It was not pretty.
The buddy that I climbed with had it so bad he got like a staph infection on his face because his blisters were popping. It was gross. Yeah, so we got a little sidetracked. Speaking of like windy, curvy roads, have you heard of the Isle of Man motorcycle race?
No.
I just thought about this when you were talking about it. Anyway, I feel bad for not remembering where this is, but essentially it's a super windy, crazy course. But these motorcyclists go like almost 200 miles an hour on this road. I mean, their average speed's like 150 miles an hour.
I think I may have seen a video on Facebook for it, actually, now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, see, I just saw this video on Facebook recently, or what might have been YouTube, of like all the crashes and just the great. That's maybe. Let's see, where the heck does it run? Yes, I know it's on the Isle of Man. I don't know, but yeah, so it's super crazy. That's what I would remind when you were talking about the crazy curvy roads. It reminded me of that. Speaking of crazy and curvy, so there's a spacecraft that's supposed to land a rock. I don't know how that segue works.
Is this the spacecraft's curvy?
No, the rock is. The rock is shaped like a diamond, so...
Diamonds are curvy?
Not really, but I don't know. I'm trying to make the segue work, and it's not at all. I think a good segue, you're not supposed to say your segue, but we're not that good yet. So... Anyway, yeah, so after traveling 3.5 years, the Hayabusa 2, which is a spacecraft made by the Japanese Space Agency, it made its final approach to the space rock on June 27th, and it's ready to start exploring it. So this is pretty crazy if you ask me. So this thing flew in space for 3.5 years. Mind you, this thing is the size of a large shoebox. It's not like a huge rover. It rendezvoused with this comet in space, or asteroid in space, and now it's going to just kind of fly around it and take pictures and find a good land spot. It's going to land on this asteroid, and then it's going to take samples, and then it's going to fly back to Earth in 2020 and bring back something from space. I mean, that's cool, right?
Yeah, my shoeboxes are just made out of cardboard, and I have to throw them out. It's like, this thing goes into space. No, it's awesome that they can plan out and actually execute a shoebox flying to an asteroid. I can't even imagine how far away if it took 3.5 years to get there.
Yeah, and I was when I saw this article, I was like, has this ever been done before? And it has, actually. So the Hayabusa 1, I believe, or the regular Hayabusa, the first mission, they had a little satellite rendezvous with the asteroid and to bring back like a couple of grams maybe of essentially space dust. So it has happened, but nothing like this has. So this is, I mean, the first time, second time that an asteroid's actually, or a satellite's actually gone, landed on an asteroid, taken a sample, and brought it back to Earth. If it works, there's still, still some time before it actually makes that landing. I think it's supposed to do it a couple times. I think it's supposed to like kind of land, gather up some stuff, and fly to a different spot and land and gather up a little bit more. So it's pretty cool.
I wonder how long it takes for when it takes the picture, how long it takes like to get back to Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it depends on how far away it is.
Did you see the name of the
Like
asteroid,
where in the
by the
solar
way?
system?
The name of the asteroid is 162173 Rygu.
Yeah,
Rygu?
I saw that. Rygu. Yeah, I didn't want to try to pronounce it because I don't want to embarrass myself.
I don't care. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, Ryugu. We're going with that. I can correct it later.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, if you know how to say it, tell us how to say it. But yeah, so this is super cool. I mean, we're actually going to land on an asteroid and bring stuff home.
So, I'd like to increase back towards space stuff. I felt like, because you had the race to the moon back in the day, and then exploration of space wasn't kind of tapered off because it wasn't so much the Cold War deal. And I feel like there's been more effort recently since Elon Musk came around, having more space movies, encouraging good, hopefully, interest and progress in space ventures.
Yeah, I mean,
go to Mars in a couple years or something.
Yeah, like The Martian, I'm sure helped a lot, and pop culture. It's been more in pop culture, but yeah, it's almost like a mini. I mean, this was Japan satellite, so we didn't have anything to do with it. At least I don't think we do. But it's pretty cool. I mean, at least in the U.S., there's like a mini space race going on between SpaceX and then what's Amazon's
Boeing?
No, Amazon. What's their space company? Jeff Bezos guy. What he's doing it? I don't know. They're supposed to launch people into space, but so the commercialization of space travel or launching satellites into space, I think, is helped a lot, especially with people that just have a lot of money who can just throw money at problems and solve them instead of a giant government agency who has to jump through all these hoops.
Yeah. No, Boeing was because I think Boeing came out and said they were going to do something before Elon Musk, and Elon Musk came back and goes, fine, go do it. I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. It's first race for sure.
If somebody beats me to this, that's great. That means, somebody beat me to the progress.
Company. Yeah, I'm trying to find what the name of I can't believe I can't remember this. Blue Origin. There we go. I know that. I knew that. So yeah, so you have SpaceX, you have Blue Origin. I think Boeing, like you said, is getting involved in it. But I think SpaceX is kind of in the lead right now. Just this morning, when we're recording this, they launched a satellite to rendezvous with the International Space Station, and inside that, where they actually they're bringing aboard like this little robot. It's essentially the size of a volleyball, and it has a screen on it, and it can fly around the space station with its like little. It's almost got like drone motors, so like little thrusters. And it'll respond to your commands. So you can like ask for it and it'll like come floating over to you and you could talk to it like you would like an Alexa device. And I think they're doing some experiments.
I want 2 of them.
Yeah, I know, right? I think they're doing experiments to see how, the human species kind of reacts to that long term. But yeah, I mean, if we could make this work on Earth and have like a little floating, I mean, the reason that works in space is because there's no gravity. So it kind of just pushes air around to move. But here, obviously, you got to contend with gravity. But if we could work that out, that'd be super cool. I'd have a couple just flying around the house, just, I don't know, keeping me company. Yeah, I was going to say, helping the kids do their homework. I don't know. Shoot. The Amazon Alexa.
Possibilities
I know,
are limitless.
With the Amazon Alexa and the Google Home, it's great because like my kids they ask me these obscure questions and I'm like, shoot, I don't know. Go ask the Google, I can only imagine how many like I don't want to say lies, but how much BS my parents had to answer when I was a kid. Just made it up off the top of their heads, Yeah.
And then you keep questioning it. It's just because I said so or I told you so.
Right. I mean, I think, we might be the last generation of thinking things were true for like the longest time. Because we didn't have that. If your parents told you something when you were a kid, that's you believed it. Now kids can just
go look everything up.
Right.
Like I remember having a set of Encyclopedia Britannica, and if we weren't sure on something, it's like, well, let's see if it's an encyclopedia.
Right. We had to go to the library to look this stuff up. I mean, now my kids can just be like, "Who was the 5th president?" and then Google would spit it out. It's cool. All right. I use it all the time. What's that?
What did the 5th president? You ask Google, what did the 5th president have for lunch on the day of his coronation? And Google may know that.
It'd be pretty impressive if it did. I use it all the time for spelling because I can't spell. So I'll just ask, "Hey Google, how do you spell this ridiculous word?" and then it'll tell me. It's pretty good. Also, I apologize for activating everyone's Alexa and Google device.
I don't. Oh, it's part of the fun. It's just weird sometimes when I'm sure you've had this happen where Alexa will pick up on you saying something and it thinks it's talking to you and it just goes off on this thing and you're like, I didn't even say you. Like it just picks up and turned on, just spouting stuff out.
Yeah,
I've had that happen a couple of times.
Yeah, it's pretty good about. I mean, I've never used the actual. I've used the Alexa, but I don't own one. I do have a Google Home, and there hasn't been that many false positives. But when it does happen, it's very creepy because you'll just be sitting there, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm sorry, I cannot help with that. It's like I didn't talk to you. Like what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys have an Alexa?
Yes, we do. Use it all the time.
Yeah.
Mainly for cooking and setting timers.
That's what we use ours for. It's like, hey Google, set a timer for 10 minutes. Oh crap.
Yeah, the exact same thing we do.
I just set off our Google.
Yeah, I heard it actually. So you're gonna have an alarm go off here.
Let me see if I can stop it. Hey Google, stop.
You have to say stop timer. Now you have to say okay Google.
Oh my god. Okay Google. Stop timer.
Sure, I canceled it.
Okay, there we go. All right. So much for that.
No, and this is a tech podcast, and
I swear I know how to use that thing. It is cool because it has voice recognition now. So if I ask it to play my playlist, it'll play my playlist. If my wife asks it to play her playlist, it'll play her playlist. And also, we'll do phone calls now. You can use it as an intercom. I'm probably going to get 2 more of those like little dot things and put in my kids' room. So instead of like yelling down the stairs or yelling into their rooms, I can just use it as an intercom.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's super convenient. Also, I'm lazy and like to turn my lights on and off with it.
Yeah, the future is everything just keeps getting more and more integrated. Which
it is cool.
It can be scary too. Especially if we progress towards AI and yeah.
But now that we have more secure Wi-Fi coming up, I don't feel as vulnerable. I don't know. I figured I don't really do anything that I don't. If someone wants to watch it on me, that's their business, I guess. I'm not really doing anything that I care too much about.
Yeah, just be weird. Like, why are you watching me? It's not that interesting.
Yeah, it would be pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Maybe we're all on like the Truman Show. Maybe we're all just being watched.
But back to the space thing, I did find Jeff Bezos guy you said.
Yeah.
How he's competing with Elon Musk. He said he was going to be selling $1 billion a year in Amazon stock to finance the race to space.
Really?
So we got another crazy rich guy throwing money at stuff.
$1 billion a year? That's awesome. I mean, that's just leaps and bounds. I mean, it's kind of sad that money kind of pushes this technology forward, but it's awesome that we have people that are willing to spend the money to push the technology forward. So it's cool. I hope I'm super excited to see people land on Mars like in our lifetime. I think this will happen.
I hope so. Yeah. It'd be really cool.
It definitely would. We kind of really went off track there.
I blame you.
Yeah, sorry. We're talking about the Google and the Alexa. Oh yeah, the little football thing that's supposed to, or volleyball size thing that is supposed to send up to the International Space Station. Yeah, so that went up with the rocket that launched this morning. So it was a successful launch. It was the last time they were using their Falcon their Falcon 9 rocket. This is the Block 4. This is one of their first ones that kind of was able to land by itself. So it's not going to land itself this time. It's just going to crash into the ocean. And from now on, they're going to be using the Block 5s, which are supposed to be easier to land and easier to retrofit back to being used. So, and that's another very cool thing that SpaceX did. I mean, I remember seeing the Falcon Heavy launch where they launched up essentially 3 of them tied together, and 2 of them landed almost simultaneously on 2 different spots. I mean, I don't know if you saw that video, but it's almost like somebody's playing a rocket launch in reverse. It's just almost unbelievable when you see it.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's super cool seeing essentially the bottom half of a rocket land standing up. Like, I would never thought you'd be able to land a rocket standing up.
Yeah, you just play your thing and rewind.
Yeah. But this is real life.
There you go.
It could maybe they are just playing everything in rewind. It's just a big conspiracy. Who knows? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they got you good.
No, it's not a conspiracy. It's real life. Go look it up. All right, enough space talk. Let's talk about GPUs. So
what?
This article, I hope this is true, and I hope this puts a little bit of ease on the strain of overpaying for GPUs that are 2 years old. So this article came out, I think this one that I'm reading is from Gadgets, but essentially they're saying that Nvidia has severely overestimated the Bitcoin market, or the Bitcoin mining craze, and the demand for gamers to buy GPUs. So this article is saying that they have a surplus of GPUs, and that's essentially one of the reasons why they're not going to be launching any new GPUs for a while, because they need to get rid of all of these old ones. I don't know how accurate this article is. It's also saying that one of the top Asian OEM partners reportedly returned 300,000 GPUs to Nvidia. Now, 300,000 GPUs might sound like a lot, but I feel like it's not that much when it comes to the grand scheme of things. I have to.
It's enough to take a pretty big dent, you would think.
Yeah, you would think, but I mean, I hope it's a lot, and I hope I can go to Newegg in like a week and see the prices of a 1070 or 1060 drop from $50 or $100 over MSRP back to MSRP. That would be awesome. Or they're just going to keep the prices where they are because they can get them.
Yeah, no, this was announced by the Nvidia CEO at the Computex.
Yeah,
they weren't going to be releasing any new.
Right. Yeah, he said that at Computex. So, and they're thinking that one of the reasons is because they knew they have an excess of GPUs, and there's no competition. There's no really reason to create these new GPUs. However, there's a couple of manufacturers that usually work with NVIDIA. So there's one of the major RAM manufacturers. NVIDIA just placed a giant order for DDR6 memory. So that could be an indication that they're starting to work and build these new GeForce cards, as well as a company that works closely with their cooling. They placed the giant order for shipments in the third quarter of this year, I believe. So with those two combined, it actually sounds like they're going to work on something, or they are working on making a new GPU for next year. Supposedly the 1070, or I'm sorry, the 11, the 11 series. I don't know if they're going to go from 10 to 11 or they're going to skip to 20. I don't know what they're going to call it. Probably 1170, 1160, 1150 kind of deal.
Or 3042.
Yeah, who knows? It's Nvidia, so I think the couple of generations they just skipped. I think they skipped the 8 series because they had 6. Did they have a 7? They had 7. They skipped 8. They had 9, 10, and then before that it was all over the place. So who knows? But I hope this.
Apparently, Nvidia in their first quarter generated almost $300 million in revenue sales due to selling GPUs just for the purpose of mining cryptocurrencies.
Oh my goodness.
But they're expecting the sale to drop by 2/3 in the second quarter and moving forward. So that's good news, finally, that hopefully it's going to stabilize and go back to normal prices.
I hope so. Like now I'm just hoping to pay MSRP for a video card. I
had a buddy, they had 2 computers. One of them died, so they ordered 2 of them. And it took them about 2 months before they got the first one, because they said they can only get one at a time, and then it was another 2 months before they got the second one.
Jeez,
that was earlier this year through Nvidia.
Oh, were they buying like one of the OEM cards?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, those things have been sold out forever.
I think one of them may be under warranty, is why they had to do it that way.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But it was like, you can't get it until this long. It's like, okay, and since it's only one per household right now, so because they wanted to just go ahead and upgrade the other one, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
So then they were just stuck waiting.
Yeah, that stinks. Yeah, I'm still waiting to get my system, and I feel like if this news is actually true, hoping this will start pushing prices down to below MSRP, where they should be after 2 years after the stinking launch of the 10 series video cards. So, I mean, they're still relevant video cards. They still do a pretty good job, and I'm sure the 11 series will do a little bit better job, but I think the 10 series is still going to be relevant for quite a while. You're still going to get the 11 series might get 20-25% better improvement, but just like the 9 series is still relevant, like the 980s, 970s, whatever they are. They're still good cards. Like you can get them for relatively cheap now, as long as they haven't been beaten to death by the cryptocurrency miners. But they were a lot less efficient than the 10 series were. That's one reason why the 10 series are so sought after, because they use way less energy or electricity to mine these giant or these cryptocurrencies. I don't know. I'll be on the lookout for cheaper GPUs.
Yes, news good. I like.
Yeah, if only RAM could come down, that'd be great. If
Wow.
Could come down.
One baby step at a time.
I want to build my system for under $1,000. And if GPUs go down to MSRP or below and RAM goes down a little bit, I can do that. So I'm looking, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about it. I'm looking at Force 1060 or possibly 1070, depending on pricing. 16 gigs of RAM and the Ryzen 2600K or 2600X for my system. So, and then I think a B370 motherboard, which is a little older motherboard, but they've been upgraded to, the BIOS has been upgraded to run the 2 series, the 2000 series Ryzen CPUs. But essentially, the CPU and the motherboard are the cheap things now. And then RAM, 16 gigs of RAM, $200.
That's just crazy.
I remember when I bought, it is for RAM. I mean, I put 16 gigs of DDR, I think it was probably DDR3 RAM, but I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I think I probably paid like less than $100 for it.
Yeah, I believe it. I remember if you got over $100 in RAM, you were getting some nice RAM.
You're getting a lot of RAM, yep.
The RAM.
So yeah. So right now, as I have the system built with the 1060, it's right over $1,000. It's like $1,050, and that's with a decent power supply and a 500 gig SSD. So if RAM comes down and CPU prices come down, or not CPU, GPU prices come down, $100 on RAM, $100 on a GPU, and that puts me right at $800, and that's a hell of a system for $800.
Nice.
So we'll see. If I get $100, I'll press the buy now button right now. But yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm tired of working off this laptop. So speaking of laptops, the Oculus VR, Oculus Go. This is a horrible segue. Horrible.
All right, on from technology. Let's go to some video game news.
Yeah, there you go. Let's jump into some news. Hey, wait, let's play a song. Hold on. Wait. What should I play? All right, let's play a song. All right, welcome to our video game news.
Stranger Things is having a video game come out.
I know. We need to work on our music a little bit. All right, let's jump into some Oculus news. So Oculus VR television launched on June 25th. So this is Oculus TV, essentially. And I was messing with this a little bit the other day. It's a great concept, but I think they need some more partners. So essentially, it's just like the other TV apps on the Oculus Go. You log into it, you're kind of like in your own little living room, and then you can watch stuff on TV. The only problem is they only have a couple of partners. So you're in your living room and you can watch Pluto TV, Red Bull TV, and Facebook Video. Essentially, is what they've got now. Pluto TV is pretty cool, actually. I watched I didn't watch the whole concert, but Dragon Force it's essentially live TV, and they had a concert on last night, so I watched a little bit of Dragon Force in concert. So that was kind of cool. And they do have like CBS and NBC on this Pluto TV, so you can watch live TV that way. Red Bull TV, you get like, the extreme Red Bull sports, which is pretty interesting. I have zero interest in Facebook Video. So it does give you yeah, I know, right? I shouldn't bash it. It does give you the option to open up your other apps from inside that app. So if you wanted to watch Netflix from inside the TV, the Pluto or the Oculus TV, my cats are fighting behind me. So
I can
hear
hear
if
them.
you did want to watch Netflix inside the Oculus TV, you could click on the Netflix, but it just opens up the Netflix app. It doesn't display it on the TV in that room. So yeah, if it would display the TV, like your Netflix on the TV in the Oculus TV, yeah, exactly, or your Hulu, it doesn't. I don't need two ways to open up my Netflix app, because you can open it from your programs, or you can go into this Oculus TV and open up Netflix that way. This kind of defeats the purpose. So hopefully they'll eventually bring it on where they can project the Netflix and Hulu and all those other partners onto the TV screen. I'm sure they probably have some kind of partner deal they have to work out first.
Oh, I'm sure money's to be made.
Yeah, exactly. There's also no social aspect, which is, that's okay, because there's already other apps that kind of fulfill that need. So this is kind of I'm sitting in bed at night and don't want to wake up my whoever's in bed next to me kind of deal. So whoever, I don't know, your wife,
you switch them out every
your significant other, your partner, whatever, whoever's in your kids, I don't know. Yeah, so it's interesting. It has a little bit of work to do. it's pretty cool for an app. The environment's pretty neat. It looks pretty good. So it's, you're sitting on a couch watching the TV. Oh, they're claiming that the equivalent TV size is 180 inches, which is a big TV, and it does feel that big. I do wish that you could change the screen size, and that's one thing that I don't like about some of these apps, Netflix and Hulu. So you have to go into essentially what's called the void, and that will allow you to change the screen size. But if I'm sitting in my living room, sometimes I don't want a TV. It's almost too big. So like the sides of it kind of lose focus a little bit. So I wish you had the option to change the TV screen, just maybe a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger if you want it, but a little bit smaller. Maybe that's coming. I don't know. Hopefully it is. So
you sit in bed to go to a virtual living room to watch a virtual TV.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
If I break it down, then.
Yes.
Nothing.
Well, so okay.
It's just I guess you can't have an 180-inch TV in front of you, and this allows you to have that.
So in my case,
I can see the deal.
Yeah, but in my case, I have a 32-inch TV in my room, and it's like 20 feet away from our bed, so it's almost impossible to see, and you can't really. The volume on it stinks, which is why we have a Roku that you can plug headphones into, so that's nice. But I pop on my Oculus Go headset, and all of a sudden I'm sitting in front of a 180-inch screen. And the sound is amazing. So it's a pretty good
deal.
I
understand. I see what you're going for there.
So I have a trip coming up to San Diego soon, and I'm tempted to bring this thing on the airplane, but I don't know how I feel about it. Like just sitting in the airplane seat, like watching, like playing with the Oculus Go. Like I feel like people are just gonna give me dirty looks or something. I don't know.
You're not gonna be able to see them though.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, they can give me dirty looks all they want. I'm staring at a 180-inch screen, 32,000 feet in the air. So
yeah, they're just going to be jealous of you because you're the cool kid.
That's true. Until I get off the airplane and I have this giant red ring around my face from wearing this Oculus Go for 8 hours or 6 hours, however long the plane flight is.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Maybe I'll try it out and let you know. I'll report back. It also doesn't support YouTube. That's a big loss. So this is one thing that I really want Oculus to support. And okay, so you can watch YouTube through their browser, which is kind of a cheap way. I want them to support YouTube in like an actual TV app, so you can just go to your virtual room and watch YouTube on this 180-inch screen. It'd be super cool.
Think of all the cats fighting you could see.
Just so many cats. Yeah,
that's gonna hurt them. A lot of people. I mean, people you can follow into YouTube for hours.
Man,
and that thing's that people do. Not having that support.
It would also be cool because YouTube is, Google owns YouTube, so you can log into YouTube account, and now you've got all your purchases through your Google Play videos you could watch. So all your movies that you bought through Google Play, if you're intertwined with the Google, architecture, you can watch on YouTube. So you could essentially sit and watch, videos, Google videos, without having to do some backwards ass janky rigging to watch your Google video in your Oculus Go. Because right now you can watch them, you can stream them through big screen, which works if you have a decent internet connection, or you go to their browser and watch YouTube that way. But like I said, the browser just doesn't, it's just like a screen, like in an environment. It doesn't look like you're in your living room. So hopefully all this stuff is coming. It's still early. So we shall see. Yeah. Speaking of, Fortnite. Woohoo. So there's a big update for 4.5. So there's a couple of things that came out on this update. Dual pistols. Oh, right. So holding two guns is always better than holding one. Right?
It is true. Yeah, I mean I can't argue with that.
The best part of what was that game? Left 4 Dead? Yes, with the two pistols. Yeah. The zombie wave shooter game.
Yes, Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. The best part of that game was the two pistols. Like they had other games, they had like shotguns and all this other crap in there. I like chainsaw, baseball bats, whatever. It was awesome because you had unlimited ammo in your pistols. So if you got two pistols, you could just go through the whole game with two guns.
What's that? I thought. I always think of dual pistols reminds me of Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah. I don't know. It was cool in Left 4 Dead because you could just shoot them like as fast as you could click your mouse button. What's this Playground LTM Battle Royale? What is it?
So Fortnite, I don't know if you know this, always does their LTM is limited time mode.
Oh, that's what LTM stands for.
The two that they're Yeah, they're coming out with for the new season initially is going to be the playground, which actually got delayed. Should be going back up sometime soon by the time you're listening to this, if not already up again. But it's basically going to be everybody, you join up with your friends and you go into your own world. And it just gives you extra resources. There's extra llamas. The storm stays very far out for about 55 minutes, and it's just you and your friends and fighting each other and having fun. You can either fight each other, you can test out strategies with the increased amount of. There's 100 llamas that are going to spawn, so you're going to have tons of resources that you can practice building. It's pretty much like a practice mode you can go into with your friends.
Gotcha. What's a llama?
Llama is normally in the game. There's only a few that spawn, and you can have you like knock down say a tree, you get maybe 50 wood. You knock down a car, 40 metal.
Right.
And each building takes a certain amount. A llama should have around 500 of some resource, usually a large amount of ammo and some weapons. But there's only like a couple that spawn in the world.
Oh, I got you.
Normal mode.
Okay. Yeah, I've played Fortnite before, just not a lot, just because I'm not very good at it.
But yeah, so this is basically it's set up to be a giant playground for you to test strategies, to explore the world, and a less competitive environment where you can try stuff with your friends, explore areas, find good chests, get familiarized with whatever they've changed. Just it's a practice world.
Gotcha. It's like an open, practice sandbox kind of thing.
Because if you want to, if you're new to it and you're hopping in for the first time with your buddies or whatever, and you're landing and there's people who play this game since launch and they land right next to you, they have a distinct advantage. They know where the chests are, they know how the weapons work, and they're just going to slaughter you.
Yeah, you'll die. So
this gives
every time
people a way to do get up onto the same level or page. The other limited time mode they're doing is going to be a final fight mode, which is teams of 12 are going to drop. I'm not sure how many teams. I would guess around 8, because I'd be around 100.
Right.
This one functions different because the storm comes in like normal, but stops part way. It doesn't go all the way in. It doesn't keep shrinking, basically.
Huh. And then is it like a timed match? And then the team with the...
Then, once the circle reaches that point, a timer is initiated. And once the timer ends, whatever team has the most people left alive will win. So this is a mode that is not to the death, which most modes have been last team standing, which it could still happen that way and probably will.
So what happens?
But it will.
What happens if there's a tie? Like I can imagine this just promotes camping. Like you get your whole team to hide until the game is over. You know what I mean? Like does it wait?
It depends. Usually the previous modes would tell you how many members were on each team left that you could check in the middle of the match. So that would mean, if you were winning, you would potentially. It's just always a strategy of camping in these type of games,
right?
If you're winning, you want to get in the circle, get to the high ground, and get yourself set up, and let the other parties necessarily fight each other out.
Right. Yeah, I wonder. Like I wondered if, like, let's say there's two or three teams with eight players left. The time runs out. You think that'll be like an overtime until those teams have to battle it out until one of them has more players?
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
I depending on how big the circle is,
that's true.
With that many people coming in to a final circle, there usually fights happen whether you wanted to them or not.
Right. I have played the 50 versus 50 mode. Have you played that mode?
I have. That one's I like the bigger teams. I like they had a 20 v20 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 one was good. That was the one that you could see how much players each team had. Yeah,
the 50 versus 50 I actually lasted more than 4 minutes. So I kind of enjoyed that one.
But also your general strategy of better players is you can set up base and defend it, but aggressing is usually a better strategy for winning.
Yeah, that's what
because you take the fight.
Right, exactly. I kind of found that out when I first started playing it. I just kind of would try to get like a gun or two and just like hide. That never worked. So now when I land, I just try to find a gun and try to just run to the first person I see and destroy them, which usually doesn't work out because I usually die. But I don't know. I have fun for about 8 minutes and then I start playing the game.
Yeah, they did add the dual pistols. They tweaked some of the weapons. They're still messing with the SMGs. change them around a bit.
Well, they got to change it.
Shotgun ammo a little bit less ammo.
Yeah, they got to change them around so they don't match PUBG, so they don't get sued again.
Well, I think they're trying to find, because main weapon people go for usually in close range has been the shotguns.
Yeah, of course.
And the SMGs are a short range weapon as well. So while they like, I guess, where the shotguns are, they're trying to find a home for the SMGs that people want to use it versus a shotgun, where somebody would view it as, I like this better than the shotgun.
Makes sense. I like it better because,
like, both SMGs did have both damage went up too, and increased accuracy of all the weapons, all the SMGs.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make it fit somewhere and make it plausible for you to pick that over a shotgun.
Yeah, I always liked them because I'm always better at spray and pray. So
they can do a lot of damage really quick too.
Yeah, if they get on target.
It's getting more down to a preference. And they want to make it feel like if you find an SMG, you're like, oh, great, I got a worthless weapon. I need a shotgun. Where's my shotgun?
I'll just take the dual pistols.
They also added map markers visual. So when you're dropping in on the bus, you know how your teammates can mark the map, and you can see it when you open the map where they want you to go, and you can see it on the radar at the top. They're actually adding visual indications when you're dropping. So when they mark the map, you'll see a giant beacon of light coming up from where they're suggesting to go.
Yeah, this is good because I don't always check the map, and sometimes I forget that I'm playing with the squad. So
yeah,
this is good. This is kind of a reminder that, hey, look, here are my teammates. Let's go over there. Yeah.
And with this update, I know there is the single-player version that not as many people play, but I still like. They're having the final part of the Blockbuster event going on. So if you wanted to complete that quest chain and get the special hero, this is the last part.
Did you ever get to play as Thanos?
I did. Not.
Oh, how was it?
I did not.
You did not? Oh.
No, it was... I played it a couple times, but it was only one person gets it, and it wasn't always strategically sound for me to be running over to try and get the glove. That was a neat concept that they did that I thought that was really clever of them.
Right.
That's one thing Fortnite has been very good at is they've been pouring out updates out like crazy. Like one of the biggest complaints me and my buddies have had about it is like we go to play and it's like, did you download the update? And one of my buddies says not great internet. He's like, no, I'll play tomorrow because it's usually over 1 to 3 gigs and it's frequent that they're pumping these updates out.
Yeah. Yeah, it stinks for the user sometimes, but in the end, it's worth the updates. I'd rather have the updates and have a better game than not have the updates and have crap. So,
and there is something going on the 30th, Saturday, which once this come out, it already happened, but they're having an event. They basically said log in at 1:30 and be near a rocket on the map and look up to the sky, and something's going to happen in the game. That's going to leave.
Wait, what time do I have to line on?
1:30 on Saturday, Eastern time.
1:30 a.m. or p.m.?
I believe p.m.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Like in the afternoon?
Yeah.
I don't think they do an event 1:30 in the morning.
Well, yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, it's there's apparently a rocket and you're supposed to be near it and they want you to look to the sky. Because there's also been people who have been hearing siren sounds around the map, alluding to something going on with sirens. As in, like, the water creature, not like a police car.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was like, where are we going with this? All right. Like the
sirens, the creature from the water that seduces men with its feminine wiles and songs.
Yeah, the mythical creature. Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's when you actually log into it, it has a thing on the coming soon list that says to log in this Saturday at 1:30 to find out. So something's coming out next week for Fortnite, which I'm sure we can talk about then.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. And if I'm not doing anything on Saturday, I will log on and see what it's all about.
Oh, did you hear the NES Mini is back?
I sure did, thanks to this article.
Really? Tell me more.
I'm sure most of you know about the NES Mini and the SNES Mini. So it's just a little version of the old school Nintendo. It's got about 30 games on there. The SNES comes with one controller and about 30 or so games. And I think the SNES comes with 2 controllers and a couple less games, I believe. NES has 30 games and 1 controller for $60. The SNES has 2 controllers and 21 games for $80. So when these came out, these things were super popular. I mean, people were buying them up as fast as they would come out, and just jacking the prices up on eBay. So the same thing's probably going to happen again, which is unfortunate because I really want to get one of these things.
Everybody does. That's the third. It's such classic nostalgia for so many people, like the NES game, the SNES game.
And that's the thing. It's $60 for nostalgia. Like, I think if I plugged it in, I'd probably play it for about an hour and then be like, oh, cool. Now I've got it. And I can't imagine spending a lot of time on it. I think my kids would probably think it's super cool. And I'd probably play it for maybe a little bit more than an hour, but I think I'm getting it more for that nostalgia feel,
Yeah, but I think that'd be cool to be able to play like the same games you grew up playing with your kids, So they're getting the same experience that you had as a kid.
You know what I want them to figure out a way on the NES version to get the stinking blaster to work with the LCD TV.
Oh, for Duck Hunt?
Duck Hunt or Operation Wolf, or there's a couple other games that used it.
I was horrible with that gun. I could not shoot with that gun.
I was pretty darn good. My sister was good because she would just put the gun up to the TV, like as close as it would go. It's like the biggest
cheating.
Yeah. I used to get so mad. I'm like, of course you're winning. You're up there. You're 2 inches from the TV.
No, you had to have a line. You have to stay behind this line.
Yeah.
You can lean past it, but you cannot. Yeah, that was always like, well, is this line where my gun has to stay behind or I have to stay behind?
Yeah, you had to make that very clear.
Yes.
But if this NES Mini came with a mini blaster that worked with the LCD TV, that would be awesome. I'd pay $20 more to have that. I think these things are supposed to be sold, at the GameStops, Best Buys, ThinkGeek, probably Target, Walmart, all the major retailers. But they're already talking about only having limited quantities. Like GameStop's only supposed to have about 10 per store, and I'm sure the online allotments won't be much bigger. So, I mean,
here we go again.
I don't know. Here we go again. Like, come on, Nintendo. We want these, so let's make a couple extra more.
Yeah, so I had a buddy who bought a couple just to sell. He got the SE and then was selling them to make money.
I don't know. Maybe they'll put out more, and it won't be as such of a rush. But
but they'll just keep doing it. They can they'll just keep putting them out and keep making money. I don't think the demand's going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah, I actually did see the SNES Classic on Amazon for retail, and they had it in stock the other day. I should have bought one. I think it was, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago or something. I saw it in stock. But you could keep checking back on Amazon and these big retailers and see if they have it in stock. But it's going to be one of those things.
And there's no rush for Nintendo to put it out because they're going to make money on it eventually. People who want them still want them.
I hope these versions are the same as the original versions. I think because they cracked the original versions fairly quickly and were able to load additional ROMs on there, so you could get the original 30 games that you had, but then you could just
put whatever you wanted.
Go to your favorite ROM download site and just get as many as you wanted. So I imagine that would happen fairly quickly if there was a newer version. But yeah, see, when I get at least the NES. I think that'd be fun to play.
Is there any Mario Tennis on there?
No, there's no Mario Tennis on there. But there is a Mario Tennis on the Switch that just came out.
Really?
So Mario Tennis Aces just came out for the Switch. So this is a simple tennis game, but there's an actual story mode. I thought this was kind of strange. So there's a story mode where you can go through the story and actually play tennis against bosses and you do challenges or do different moves to defeat these bosses. So, I mean, you can use energy to leap up in the air or slow down time or aim and do all kinds of backflips and all kinds of crazy stuff. So that sounds kind of interesting. But there's also just the normal tennis mode where you can play against a computer or you can play co-op with some buddies. You can play locally co-op, and I believe you can play on the same Switch just with a couple extra controllers. I think it supports up to 4, so you can do doubles. So I always kind of liked these tennis games, especially if you could play in the same room. It's a party game essentially. I always liked that aspect of it. I remember when we were playing. What was it? Dreamweaver had tennis on it.
Yeah,
was it
we had Mario Tennis on 64. I remember too, and those matches got heated.
We had it on 64. They would.
Those were intense. Very fun.
The same with when the Wii came out. I remember those the tennis game on the Wii. Tennis and bowling. We got pretty into those.
I just wanted to just tackle somebody in the middle of their swing. You missed.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's games like these that I wish more the big, like, I don't want to say bigger, but consoles like Xbox and PlayStation would do these party games. But I mean, I guess if you want party games, you buy a Nintendo. So
Yeah, they really have that control of the niche, especially with their unique controller and playstyle. It really they
right,
took that niche over pretty strong. And I felt like they went that when they changed from going to the Wii. They were like, all right, we're going to try and move away maybe from the big titles and focus on what the party like style games, more family oriented.
right. They kind of went to, yeah. I don't want to say more casual, but they kind of went they went in a different direction with their consoles, which is I think exactly what Nintendo needed. And the Switch is doing amazing. I mean,
yeah,
it's still
kept its unique niche, while you have Xbox and PlayStation are still the same, like powerhouse consoles that are still competing, while the Switch has kind of just moved off away from that. And it's like,
right.
we have a unique thing, we're rolling with it. It's working. We're going to continue. We'll let you two fight over that big boy market if you want.
Yeah, exactly. If I had $300 laying around, I'd buy a Switch because there's some cool games on there, and being able to take it with you is awesome.
Yeah, like there's so many pluses to it.
Yeah, nothing like playing Zelda on a plane ride or on a train ride or wherever you got to during your commute in the morning. So
when was the last time you did a train ride?
I don't know. I want to take it. Speaking of train rides, like I've actually been looking into taking a train ride.
Oh.
I just think taking an overnight train ride would be super cool because it's a train, especially if you took it through the mountains. Like maybe from Chicago to California or something. Like a 2-day train ride. I think it'd be cool. You get like one of those big sleeper cars, so you just bring your family, you sleep. And
yeah. I was on a train last year on one of the high speed ones, but that was in Taiwan.
How was that? Was it like super high speed, like 300 miles an hour? Or?
I'm not sure, but it was. I'd have to look into it. It was from the airport to where we're meeting up with our buddy. But it was supposed to be really, really fast, like cutting the travel time if you did it any other way down. So it may have been hundreds of miles.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think taking a train somewhere in the U.S. is almost, I don't want to say rite of passage, but it's just something it's like a bucket list item. I think it's something you have to do at least once,
Well, especially the old ones, the click, 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 like those ones.
Not like a steam train, but
I'm just trying to clarify for my bucket list of what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're even cheaper. Like so if I want to so I live in Virginia. Let's say I want to go to Florida to visit some relatives. I could take a plane. I could load my entire family onto a plane with so that's $1,000 in tickets. When I get there, I got to rent a car for a week. That's probably $400 or $500 for a car for the week. Then I got to do hotel. Stuff gets expensive. If I take a train for my whole family, I can load my car onto the train, so I could take my own car with me, and then the train tickets for everybody are under $1,000. And then you take the overnight train, so you leave Virginia in the afternoon. You have dinner on the train. You go to sleep. You wake up early, mid morning. You're in Florida with your car at like half the price the plane would have cost. So it's still a viable mode of transportation, I think.
I was not judging it at all.
Yeah, I know.
I just thought it was a random comment you threw out, and I felt like commenting.
How did we get on trains from Mario Tennis?
You were very defending of those trains. Get to take the Switch wherever you went on a train ride, per se.
Oh, train ride. That's right. I don't know. All right, enough with Mario. Let's talk about Overwatch. So what's coming up in Overwatch?
Well, it's already out, and we have one thing that's coming out. They redid Symmetra a second time. This character has not been very successful in the slew of things. I think the Overwatch League, it had a 0 or like below 1% playtime for pretty much every season. And the character's release, they already did one complete rework, like went back and went over all of her abilities and try and improve him to make her a more viable character. This is attempt number 2 on the same character. She's basic. Have you played Overwatch?
No, I haven't. That's the one game that I haven't really gotten into.
She's supposed to be a defense hero. She has turrets. She used to have 6 turrets that she could deploy around her that would shoot out a beam at nearby enemies that would slow them and do damage. They changed it to 3 turrets instead of 6. More health, more powers, more damage, more slow, and you can actually launch them across the map. And they will set up whenever they hit a solid surface.
Oh, so you can kind of like throw them into like a battle. essentially.
Yeah, so you could, you see a bunch of guys fighting. Now the enemy can shoot them out of the air and shoot them when they're on the wall, obviously to kill them.
Right.
But it does improve that. Her right click changed. Her right click used to, you would hold it down, it would charge up, and then it would release an energy ball that would pass through enemies, doing a large amount of damage. Well, they changed it so not only does it charge up faster, it no longer passes through people. It now explodes on impact. So it's more like you have a rocket launcher with a slight charge up.
Oh.
So you can just launch rockets pretty much quickly. Her left click was rechanged. It used to be a beam weapon that would lock on, and over time it would gain more damage. Excuse me. And they changed it to be a straight weapon. So it's just a straight beam now. It doesn't lock on targets, which drove people crazy because she could just, you didn't have to aim. Once you hit the initial beam hit, even if as long as you kept them on your screen, the beam would stay latched onto them.
That seems a little
crazy.
Yeah.
So they changed it now. It's just a straight beam going out. It charges at a much slower rate. It used to take like 1 second on an enemy to go to the next damage tier. Now it takes like 2 seconds to go to the next damage tier, but it's much more damage. While before at max charge, it was doing over 100 damage per second. Now it's like up near 200 damage a second, which, a lot of characters, their max health is 200.
Right. That's a lot.
It's a lot, but I mean, you have to be doing a lot of damage consistently, because the charge goes away. It doesn't continue over time. It's, it charges, and if you don't keep doing damage, it goes back to zero and you have to start over again.
I gotcha.
But the thing they did with it too is also if it's hitting shields, so somebody blocks, as Reinhardt has his 2,000 health shield out, your gun hits it and charges on it, but it actually regains ammo while you're shooting it, so you can shoot in forever against a shield.
Oh, okay, that could be pretty helpful. And
you build charge off of it, so your shield breaker, plus if it's a way to just sit there and gain charge, and then you have a really powerful gun that one-shots people near you.
Huh. That brings a whole new aspect of using shields around this character.
Yes. She has the potential to be a shield breaker. They changed her teleport. She has an ult that would put a teleporter, just like old TF2, but had limited uses. They changed it now to it's an ability she can use every so often that will set up a teleporter 25 meters away from her location, and then spawn an entrance where she is and the exits where she was aiming. And anybody in your team can use it. It'll last for like 15 seconds. And this is interesting because it allows for quick transportation of your entire team to new locations that may not have been accessible otherwise. Like a high ground that you would have to go around, find these stairs, walk up this way. She can really just drop a teleporter and everybody can hop into it and go.
Oh, nice. Kind of like
it's instantaneous. Like it takes like a second to set up, and then all people have to do on your team is walk over, click it, and boom, they're there. Like you can move your whole team behind the enemy lines to high ground almost instantaneously.
Oh, nice. It's kind of like the engineer for in TF2 with the teleporters.
Well, that's how our initial teleporter was. It would set up and spawn, and it would teleport you to wherever she put the exit, but it only lasts for 6 times, and then you would have to do your ult charge all over again. And speaking of her ult got redone. It's now a giant shield that spans the entirety of the map and has 1,500 hit points, which is a lot. And it's literally the entire map. Just thinking of dropping a curtain straight down the y-axis, and it just runs completely in both directions.
Huh, that seems a little overpowered, I guess. I don't know.
It's interesting seeing how people have used it. You can push onto a point and see where the enemies are and just drop it, and you got this massive shield that they're not going to be able to damage through before the timer runs out.
Right.
And same things with they're throwing ults at me. I could just drop this giant shield and it blocks all incoming damage. So it's a lot of good changes. I'm curious to see how viable it makes her in some of the more competitive settings. That is still meant to be seen. And the last Overwatch news is they released information about the new character, which is a hamster.
So this character might actually persuade me to actually finally play the game.
This character is a small hamster who has a gigantic tank that changes into a giant rolling ball.
Yeah, you had me at hamster tank.
Yes. So he can he's got 2 machine guns when he's walking around, but then he can switch into a ball and literally roll around the stage faster. the normal movement. Along with, he can shoot a grappling hook, latch onto surfaces above him, and swing himself around like a wrecking ball.
Oh my
where he
gosh!
will actually gain damage and knockback while he's swinging, and you're literally a giant wrecking ball at that point.
You have to play the Miley Cyrus "I Came in Like a Wrecking Ball" song every time this happens in the game.
Well, his next ability, if you launch yourself in the air and you're flying with the greatest of ease, you can hit this button and he will shoot straight down on the ground and do explosion damage, like basically a big Goomba stomp.
Oh my goodness.
His other ability apparently is going to be he can activate temporary shields, and he'll get bonus shields for an amount of enemies within a certain proximity. So it's kind of like you want to launch yourself in, drop, try and get a kill, and then since you're in the middle of the enemy, pop, and all of a sudden you have an extra, I don't know the values yet, but like an extra 500 shields on top of your 500, 600 health already. Good dive tank is what it's looking like, high mobility. And his ultimate lays out a minefield.
That's even better.
So he just pops out 10, 15 mines all around him.
Yeah.
He's on the PTR right now, so he's being tested, and he should be released here, I would assume, within the month. And there you can play your very own hamster tank. Yeah, his name is Hammond, if you're curious.
When he goes live, like not on the test realm, I might actually pick up this game. We should do some we should stream my first Overwatch. Just watch me get destroyed.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. There's 28 characters, and you're not gonna know any of them.
No, I'm not gonna know any of them. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should stream, my first Overwatch experience on Facebook or something. I don't know. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we'll fix that up. Other news I just want to mention was Battlefield 5 closed alpha has started. So if you had applied for that, tried to get into that, and you should check your stuff. If you applied for that, I'm sure you already knew that and have checked your stuff. So that's their alpha testing is getting started.
Alpha test. I don't know how well that would go, but cool. Is that all? That's all I think we got on the show for this week.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think it is. It's been about an hour, so
we have yet to hit our hour goal yet, have we? We keep going.
I know.
Over.
There's just so much. I got more stuff that I want to talk about too. Like when we were talking about testing Battlefield 5, the Nvidia. I finally got my invite to the Nvidia streaming servers where you can use their servers to render video games, so you can play your video games with their video card. Yeah,
I'm gonna go look up more stuff on trends.
Anyway, it's super good. It works really well. So I have a shitty laptop, and this allows me to play PUBG at 60 frames a second as long as my internet connection is good. Anyway, I don't know. We're getting off topic. It's been an hour. I think we'll call it a night, and we'll talk about the rest of this stuff next week. So don't forget to like us on Facebook and Twitter, and follow us on Twitter, and check us out on YouTube and all the social medias and all that good stuff. If you like this, give us a like. If you don't, I don't know, move on. Give us a like anyway, just because we're trying to make this work. So, all right, guys, with that, say good night, good morning, or whatever time it is you're listening to this, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, intro music. Maybe I should let it play longer. Maybe people like to listen to the whole song this time. Yeah, it's a good song. All right.